Hey everyone, what is going on? What is up? I'm Bryn, and in today's video, it's kind of a continuation from my last video, which was called Budgeting 101, except this is the food budget portion, dedicated only pretty much to food. The reason I wanted to squeeze it in here, even though I promised you guys the astrology with kids one, is because I thought it kind of correlated with my last video, and I thought it had a lot of helpful hints that kind of went along with that video too. So with that being said, my last video was about living and paying your bills on like a minimum wage budget. So to be specific, I talked about paying bills at $11.91 an hour, 40 hours a week. So this is kind of in correlation to that, a minimum wage budget that you've budgeted out to pay your bills, so now you kind of have a limited amount that you can buy groceries with. So the reason this video is important to me is because when I only made that much, you only have so much to buy groceries with, and it was very easy to get into the we have to eat unhealthy because it's cheap trap. It was a mouthful. So, and what I mean by that is that it just seems like it's cheaper to buy things like ramen noodles, which on occasion is fine. Chips, candy, again, on occasion is fine, but like I would get in the trap of trying to buy it a lot because it was cheap, alternatives to other things that made their plate. So that being said, as they got older and I got wiser, I wanted to feed them healthier, and these are just my tips and tricks that I've come across, trying to feed my kids pretty healthy on a pretty tight budget. So here's some of my suggestions. Buy frozen fruit and veggies. Now I'm talking about frozen spinach, frozen kale, frozen green beans, and frozen peas. Excuse me, I really didn't buy too many other vegetables. Besides, I might buy some fresh lettuce, like a head, and a couple tomatoes to accommodate certain meals. Corn is probably a good veggie that you can buy in a can because it's actually just a grain, and so it doesn't do too much. It doesn't have too much dietary. Unlike the other vegetables that our body takes more from and uses from, it doesn't really take too much from corn. It's more or less to help push things along in the dietary process. Buy noodles and rice like in the box. They're generally like $1 or less. If you possibly can, shop around at different places, but don't. The goal is to save money, not use that money towards gas to get some, almost doesn't make sense. Buy bagged cereals. Usually the store will kind of carry off-name brands that are generally cheaper. You can buy like the Cheerios for a healthier alternative, or the Frosted Squares. I made a lot of meals with hamburger meat and chicken because hamburger meat is pretty cheap to buy. like I said before, if you have the opportunity to shop around at different places for different things, as long as you're not breaking your bank doing so, because the goal is to save a little bit or to stretch the what you have to go further. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and also if you want to leave comments in this video and in the Budgeting 101, if you have different tips and tricks for both food and like budgeting your bills and whatnot. I forgot to mention that in the last video, so feel free to do so, because I'm really curious about anybody other suggestions, because we're definitely in this together. So with that, have a good day, and peace, love, and happiness. Love you, bye. I had to edit this part in real quick, but with corn, I forgot to mention, instead of buying it frozen, you can probably buy it in a can, because of the fact that it doesn't have too much nutritional gain. So I just wanted to add that.